Hey guys, it's your boy John coming to you from the Caddo Lake National Wildlife Refuge. The Caddo Lake National Wildlife Refuge is an 8,493 acre protected area of Texas managed by the United States Fish and Wildlife Service as part of the National Wildlife Refuge system. It's located right along Caddo Lake in beautiful East Texas. But it wasn't always a wildlife refuge. See, on December 7th, 1941, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, and a young congressman from Texas named Lyndon Baines Johnson proposed building an Army ammunition plant on a rural piece of property that was right next to his wife, Lady Bird's hometown of Karnack, Texas. And since Johnson was pretty tight with President Roosevelt at the time, the U.S. Army jumped all over that. Standing in the actual guardhouse that you had to drive by to get in the ammunition plant, it was put there in 1942 and it was still there until 2006. And then they moved it over here by the Welcome Center. Now let's go in the Welcome Center and I'll give you a little rundown of the history of the Longhorn Army ammunition plant. In 1941, as the United States prepared for eventual entry into World War II, the U.S. Army Ordnance Department approached Monsanto Chemical Company of St. Louis about operating a local plant for production of explosives, initially called Longhorn Ordnance Works. The plant produced over 400 million pounds of TNT from 1941 to 1945. Now, after the war, the Army placed the plant on standby status. During the Korean War from 1950 to 1953, the need for munitions rose again, and the Universal Match Corporation, also of St. Louis, managed the site, producing propellant fuel. In 1956, the Ico Chemical Corporation began manufacturing solid fuel rocket motors here, and this highly guarded and classified site grew in a series of 5 expansions. In 1964, its name changed to the Longhorn Army Ammunition Plant, and employment rose to a high of nearly 3,000 personnel. The numbers declined with the end of the Vietnam War and the easing of tensions with the Soviet Union, and employment dropped to less than 1,000 by 1975. In 1987, the United States and the Soviet Union signed the Treaty of Intermediate Nuclear Forces, beginning the elimination of an entire class of missiles until 1988. The first destruction on American soil of U.S. Pershing No. 1 and No. 2 rocket motors occurred at the site. It was observed by both the U.S. and Soviet Union officials. The demolition project continued until 1991. Following official deactivation in 1995, pollution abatement has steadily provided for adaptive reuse of the former wartime site, now part of the Caddo Lake National Wildlife Refuge. Pretty interesting story, huh? So now it's a great place for wildlife to live, or for you to come out here and do some hiking, do some running. Lots of roads to run on, ride your bicycle. There's also an equestrian trail that goes around where the old railroad used to go around the property. It's like 7 miles. That's what I ran a while ago. Come check it out. You might as well. You're paying for it.